Did you know that over 80% of people feel stuck in life? Yet the biggest breakthroughs often happen when they finally let go and stop trying to control everything? What if the very thing holding you back isn't your effort, but the constant urge to force outcomes, to push even when nothing seems to budge? Picture this. You're doing everything right, working hard, praying, planning. Still, you feel like you're running in circles. Sound familiar? It's almost like the more you try to fix things yourself, the more life resists. The frustration builds, the doubt creeps in, and hope starts to slip away. But then something incredible happens when you finally say, I can't do this on my own. Suddenly, doors you never saw before start to open. Could it be that God moves fastest when you stop forcing things? Let's explore why surrender, not striving, might be the secret to real change in your life. Think about nature for a second. Rain falls when clouds let go. Seeds grow once they surrender to the soil. Maybe letting go creates space for miracles. In relationships, the harder you chase approval, the more distant it feels. But when you step back, people often respond with unexpected kindness or honesty. Even science shows that creativity flows best when you stop overthinking. Sometimes your greatest ideas come when you relax and trust the process. Stories from spiritual leaders often mention waiting on God, not as passive, but as active trust. They describe peace and clarity arriving only after surrender. Have you noticed how breakthroughs happen after you've tried everything and finally let it rest? There's a freedom in releasing control that invites divine timing. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means handing the reins to something bigger than yourself. That's when God's movement becomes visible in unexpected ways. Sometimes we confuse persistence with purpose, but real purpose doesn't feel like a constant uphill battle. It often feels like alignment rather than struggle. Consider a river. It flows around obstacles instead of forcing through them. It reaches its destination not by fighting, but by following a natural path laid out for it. Many share stories of unexpected opportunities arriving after they paused their frantic efforts, like a job offer out of the blue or a relationship healing without explanation. Faith isn't just believing things will happen your way. It's trusting that even delays or detours might be God's way of steering you towards something better. When you stop stressing over every detail, you actually hear guidance more clearly. That inner nudge or gentle idea often whispers through the quiet, not the chaos. Sometimes the fastest movement happens in your heart, not your circumstances. You find peace and direction first, and then the outward changes begin to unfold naturally. When you let go of your timeline, you may notice synchronicities, unexpected resources, helpful people, or timely messages showing up just when you need them most. It's almost as if surrender acts like an open invitation for God to step in and rearrange things, bringing solutions from directions you never would have considered. Think of athletes who perform best when they trust their training and instinct rather than obsessing over every move. Their breakthroughs often come in moments of release. A friend once described how she found peace after giving up on a stalled dream. Months later, a new opportunity arrived that fit her life far better than her old plans. Letting go can open your eyes to possibilities you missed before, like noticing a path in the woods that was hidden by overgrowth until you stop forcing your own way forward. The act of surrender isn't passive, it's an active shift in trust. When you release your grip, you become available for inspiration and guidance you couldn't access before. Sometimes the biggest changes come when you least expect them, like a phone call with good news right after you've stopped anxiously checking your messages all week. Throughout history, many inventors have made discoveries not while struggling at their desks, but while relaxing, walking, or simply giving their minds a break from forced focus. Notice how children approach life. They play, they explore, and when things don't work out, they move on. Joy and curiosity often lead to the very solutions adults try to force. Some faith traditions describe surrender as hands wide open. It's about releasing your grip, allowing blessings to fall in, rather than clinging tightly and missing what's offered. Even in work, leaders often say their best breakthroughs came after they stopped micromanaging and trusted their team. Suddenly, things move forward faster than before. It's almost like life responds to trust with momentum. When you trust God's timing and step aside, the pieces often click together with a speed and ease you never could have forced. Ever notice how some of the best moments in life feel almost accidental? You bump into an old friend or stumble across an opportunity right when you stop searching so hard. Artists sometimes talk about entering flow, that effortless state where creativity just pours out. It rarely happens when they force it. Instead, it comes when they surrender to the process. In the Bible, Moses stopped striving in his own strength before he saw the Red Sea part. It was only after giving up control that the miraculous made a way forward. Even in daily routines, breakthroughs often sneak in during moments of stillness, like an answer to a problem arriving in the shower or clarity hitting during a quiet walk. Consider how many life-changing ideas show up during rest, not hustle. It's as if pausing signals to God, "I'm ready for your guidance, not just my own agenda." When you stop fighting the current, you might find yourself exactly where you're meant to be, arriving not through force, but by allowing God's timing to set the pace. Think about how often unexpected blessings show up after you finally shift your focus elsewhere. Almost like God was waiting for you to release your grip first. Sometimes it's in letting go that you notice new possibilities you never imagined. Opportunities hiding in plain sight, now visible because you've stopped straining for control. Stories of transformation often begin with a moment of surrender, a decision to trust that something greater is at work, even when there's no clear plan in sight. There are times when, after months of pushing, a small act of faith like taking a break or shifting priorities opens doors that hard work alone couldn't budge. Letting go invites a kind of clarity that striving can't produce. It's only when you pause that you can see the bigger picture and recognize God's hand guiding your path. So many people report that after stepping back, answers come through a conversation, a book, or a quiet moment. Each one a gentle reminder to trust the process, not force the outcome. Have you ever noticed that when you finally put down the weight of worry, solutions often show up in ways you couldn't have predicted or planned for yourself? Sometimes unexpected help finds you, like a stranger offering advice or resources, right after you stop obsessing over how to handle everything by yourself. Many people share that their most profound moments of inspiration came during times of rest, laughter, or even during mundane chores, not while pushing themselves. Letting go can mean accepting the unknown, trusting that unanswered questions might just be invitations for something greater to unfold at the right moment. There's a kind of wisdom in pausing, a chance for your mind and spirit to reset, making space for insights and opportunities that constant effort can actually cloud. When you stop demanding answers on your schedule, it's surprising how often clarity arrives quietly, restoring your confidence in God's timing and provision. Have you ever seen someone try to open a jar that won't budge, only for it to twist open easily after they stop straining? Sometimes force isn't what solves the problem. Surprisingly, breakthroughs might arrive when you shift focus to gratitude instead of worry. That simple act can unlock doors you didn't know were waiting to open. Athletes often visualize success before taking action, surrendering control to their training. It's in that mental release, not the struggle, that peak performance emerges. People have shared stories about finding their life path after letting go of rigid expectations. Sometimes the best outcomes are nothing like the ones we planned. Even in healing, many report recovery speeding up after they stopped obsessing over progress and started trusting their body and spirit to guide them through the process. Have you noticed that when you release pressure to make things happen, unexpected abundance arrives, like a financial blessing or a connection that comes out of nowhere? As we wrap up, remember, life often unfolds best when you trust the process and let go of rigid plans. God's timing can surprise us with answers we never expected. Think back to moments when stepping back led to clarity or a breakthrough. Sometimes the pause itself is what lets transformation truly begin, far more than extra effort. Embracing uncertainty isn't easy, but it's also where faith grows. When you stop trying to force every detail, you create room for hope, growth, and divine possibility. So if you're at a crossroads, consider loosening your grip. Trust that letting go isn't weakness. It's an invitation for God's grace to work in ways you might never imagine. Take this idea into your week. Notice where you're pushing too hard and practice stepping back. Pay attention to what opens up when you allow space for something greater. If this resonated, share your own experiences in the comments. Your story could inspire someone else to trust, let go, and see how quickly life can change when you stop forcing. Research in psychology shows that letting go of rigid expectations reduces stress and increases resilience, opening you up to solutions that relentless effort can block.